Is this old school today? No. Today we're going to talk about Dragon Quest II for Dragon Quest Tactics. This is going to be another lengthy event, and it is actually going to be a lot of fun with an awful lot to do. And today we're going to just go over the entire event in a quick overview. So, stay tuned. But before I start with this, I would like to also kind of just do a quick personal news for everybody. It's kind of been obvious that I've been a little bit busy the last couple months, and I haven't been posting as much on YouTube. And I'm just starting to get back onto Twitch more often as well. People on my Twitch know, but YouTubers don't. That my son, about 4.5 months ago, got diagnosed with leukemia, and so I've been really busy taking him to treatments, etc., etc. And so my time to do a lot of content has really shrunk a great deal, and it's been not very good, unfortunately. But I'm happy to announce that he is currently in remission. He still has over 2 years of treatments to go through, but because of such great news that has just been told to me a couple of days ago, I would like to present kind of a short little bonus for everybody. If I can get to 500 subscribers on YouTube, I'll do a $10 choice between Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play, depending which store that you want. And every 150 followers beyond that by September 15th, I'll add $10 more. And if we get to 1,000, then I will bring it up to 50 or maybe even more, depending on how everything comes out, as kind of a thank you present to everyone here. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, but more importantly, thank you for staying with me. I know I haven't been as busy as and has been as active as I would like to. I'm going to try to get back into it, but just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I really would like to celebrate the good news that's finally happened to me. And so, good luck. And after the 15th, I will post a short video on how to try and get some of these rewards. But let's stay tuned for the new video. All right, so here is a Dragon Quest II. This is one of my more exciting overall times to play. I've been really looking forward to this, but in all honesty, the units are strong, but don't really have the calling like some of the other units that we've seen. But the first unit here is Malroth. A very nice unit overall. Reduces enemy zap resistance by 25% for leadership effect. Three skills are pretty interesting. The first one's Death Sigh. He's a little annoying. You want to level him up to about 27 so he can actually start doing some physical damage. But it's kind of short. It does put enemies to sleep and does poison as well. So it's a dual skill. He is a unit that likes to debuff a great deal. And all of his skills do some type of debuffing. He is obviously a boss unit. His second skill, though, is a much better damaging skill called God Cry. This one is non-elemental, 112 MP consumption. Causes great physical damage to enemies and sometimes poison dazzles. And the last one here is Jigo Spark, or Zap Spark, basically. This one is a very, very, very powerful skill. Inflicts heavy zap spell damage on enemies, can paralyze, very high MP consumption. One of the big problems with Malroth is its skills is just incredibly expensive to use, but can act as a mini tank if you get the first unit skill up. Increases movement, defense, spell resistance for 2 turns. Allows you to move very far, get some quick damage in, keep them alive as well for those first 2 turns, especially against spellcasters. Another good unit against spellcasters like Sorrow. Second one here is Crackle Resistance. Fourth one is Wind Resistance. Third and fifth is the Jigo Spark Power. No surprises. Here. Next one here is Hargon, and I'm kind of going in the reverse order that we're going to get them in, so I do apologize. His leadership skills, Zam power increases by 20%. A boss, very magical based boss. Very well designed, close to the unit in Dragon Quest II. First skills, Curse, MP consumption 27. Randomly inflicts 50% physical damage to enemies in AoE 4 times and can sometimes stop actions. So it's a range of 1, doesn't do a very large range, but that stop actions is a huge debuff if you can land it, so it does have some use. The second one is Bang spell damage, Curse Einazund, the Baramos. Very similar, except this one can also stop actions as well, so it has a nice AoE with range. The last one is a Zam spell, Evil Magic Sword, inflicts very large Zam spell damage. The first one is very useful, reduce the cost of spells and increases power. This unlocks his ability to really do a lot of damage. His main issue is he's relatively slow with the 2 spots, but because he has range, it's not nearly as bad as some other units. Second is Crack, fourth is Bang, and a resistance up, and the third and fifth is the same with the Evil Magic Sword. All right. I'm guessing that they're going to call him Princeton. He's the Prince of Canik. In Dragon Quest II, he had 8 possible names, and he was labeled as Princeton in some of the later games afterwards. So until they actually come out with the name, I'm going to stick with Princeton. I know I'm most likely wrong, but leadership effect, Sizz power is increased by 10%, so anything that's Sizz related he will boost up. His first skill, Samadare Slash, randomly inflicts a 60% physical damage 4 times to enemies, conceals spells. I'm not a huge fan of the random, but most of the time, unless if you're surrounded AoE, it will focus on 1 unit. Second one is Vagarian, inflicts a very large Sizz physical damage from far away, and his most powerful skill, Burning Strike, is a very nice 250% Sizz physical damage in a T or fan shape, and that one is actually a really nice AoE, and for the amount of MP consumed, it is actually a top tier skill. And remember, this is a hero, so he has his own unique ability called Samara's Sword, which is a nice one as well, but you can't teach him. And because of that, he is very much locked into Sizz. His first skill, his first awakening skill is movement +1, which is incredibly important for him. Second one is zap. Fourth one is wind resistance 25. And the third and fifth is his third and fourth skills going up in strength. The last unit for this event would be for S is Princessa. They called her Pudding, and I actually love the translated name in Japan. She is basically called Princess in DQ2. Her is increased zap power by 20%. So she is someone that can actually finally really increase zap. That is incredibly powerful. But next is Holy Light. Her first skill is remove all abnormal conditions to all allies within range. This is a very good skill. She doesn't heal, but it is a very, very good skill. And actually, one of the skills that you can give, well, if you could give her, would be healing. But, and this is the one thing I hate about heroes. I would be much, much, much higher on her if I was able, instead of getting the Moonberg Prayer Power, which is a very powerful skill that you could use, and just give her a healing as well. She becomes such a wonderful unit. Instead, she's a good unit, but not fantastic. And I'll go more into detail on all these units probably at the end of the weekend, and kind of just go over this for everybody. But her second skill is Blasting Einazun. Very, very powerful. Bang type spell damage to one enemy. Can rarely greatly lower defense as well. So she actually fits well with the physical team, helping her out. The last one is Gigadane. Does zap damage to all with an AoE. Very, very large zap damage. And with her leadership effect and her third and fifth awakening, that does some very serious damage. One of the things that I do like about Princessa is her initial awakening skill is recover 10 MP of allies within range. So she can help other units keep their MPs up as well. I personally think that's the most interesting thing about her. It's not a huge amount, but it is some NP available. Second is Crackle, fourth is Wind, and then she's got the Giga Dane and Moonberg Prayer Power +5 for her third and fifth. So the summonable units for the DQ2 event for A power. The first one is Brainy Badboon. I'm taking this directly from DQ2. If they change the names, then I'm sorry. First skill is Breath. Second one's Vagirama. And the third one's Heat Flame. Very, very similar to the Prince Canic, even though this is from the Malroth summon. Its abilities is good. Has very good level 100 stats all the way across the board. The main worry is that the movement is only 2. The one thing, though, is it does have range of 3, so it's not nearly as hurt by having 2 movement, but still, it is kind of painful that that's the best that you can go for. Otherwise, it has good HP, good defense for an A unit, and is, as I say, 345 is fast enough if you can pick 5 of them. So, all in all, it is a pretty good unit. The second one is Gremlin. This is from Hargon. It is probably the worst of the A units. Its stats are poor. It does move pretty fast at movement 4 with the agility of 370. It can, but really what it does is it can sleep an enemy, it can inflict SAM spell damage, and it randomly deals small first spell damage to enemies with 4 times. Rarely will seal spells. It's not nearly as good as the other two, but the ability to seal spells can be a big boon, but you are rolling the dice. With the Malfuge Flame Bullet, if you can, though, and if you get lucky, you can maybe seal 2 or 3 units that can cast spells, even if it's just for a short while. And that's a very, very, very important ability for it. But once again, I don't like units that force you to kind of play Russian roulette with itself because it just has such small HP and defense. Last unit is the Orc King. The defense is poor, but has very good attack and HP. Its movement is 2. It can do some damage. The first one is Fool, which is actually an interesting skill, which actually reduces the skill level. And this can really lower damage. It's basically lowering up to around 20-25% damage. Very, very nice. And also with some of the others, it also will just allow you to kind of make some bosses not do nearly as much damage. But once again, it's only occasionally. And remember, it only has 2 movement and its defense is really low. Second one is Samadera Ashizuki. It randomly inflicts 60% physical damage and will rarely seal, but the random here is with 4 times is only between 2 people, so it's not that big of a deal. And it does have a little bit of AoE from there. The last one is Dark Thrust, which is Bang. Has 160% SAM physical damage on all the enemies in there. All in all, it has nice physical damage. It has 3 types of elements, and you can add a 4th. But the main A one that you're really looking for is the Brainy Bad Boon. And Orc King you can summon with the 2 heroes involved. The other farmable units for the DQ2 event, the Medusa, which will be in the Lighthouse, which is kind of similar to what DQ5 had. Gremlin, Frostburn are roads. Cyclops is its own thing. Walking Corpse and Bloody Hand as well. You can farm those in different specific areas. The weapons here, there are 4 weapons, and the nice thing about this one is there will be armors as well. There are 4 weapons because there's 4 S units that we can summon. Malroth is uses the Destruction God, has very high intelligence, very good Zap Spell Alchemy, along with Chico Spark and Agility and Zap Spell. Obviously designed for Malroth. The Sword of Swords from Hargon Temple. Good HP attack, but has negative 40 agility. There are ways to get around that, but the alchemy is basically HP attack and agility. If you roll enough agility, you can actually get rid of that minus 40 agility. You could kind of consider this a cursed sword. The third one here is Hargon's Wand. This is for Hargon. The Wisdom plus 22, SAM Power plus 4%, and you can increase your SAM Power, Evil Magic, and MP. The last word is the Moonberg Wand. This is for Princessa. Wisdom plus 22, Zap Spell plus 4%, Alchemy Zap Spell, Gigadane, and MP. And the Sword of Swords is basically for Princeton of Canik, but it can be used for a lot of other units, especially if you roll it properly. It does have some interesting abilities that you can use it with. But also, if you don't mind, or you need to slow down units as well, that's actually not a bad thing. because sometimes you need to speed tune it to be correct, and if you can equip a sword, that will help out as well. Finally, we're going to start getting some armors. Our armor's all that powerful? No, but we can finally start getting some, and that is a huge boost. First one is Mixuno Hargoramo. It's basically Princess Cloth. It will give you defense plus 10, wisdom 7, and reduce the movement restrict by 10%. Gives you frizz spell, resist, frizz resist, and movement restrict. Resist. Actually, a pretty nice overall armor. Second one is Mahu no Armor, and you can get these with medals. You get defense plus 16, poison resist plus 8%. And you can do poison resist, HP, and defense with the alchemy here. And the last one is the Mink Coat. Defense 8, wisdom 8, paralysis plus 8%. Alchemy increases paralyze resist, crackle spell, and crackle resist. So finally, we're going to start getting into events that give us armors, and we can start really having a larger supply of armors. So this is going to be very, very good for a lot of us. For the trade-in, we have our tickets, Iridescent Orb, question mark, fragments, and I believe hero fragments as well. There are a lot of scrolls that you can get to, but there's nothing really super strange about this. You could get weapons, you can get all the other normal stuff. So I just kind of want to go through that. Okay, now for the Temple of Hargon event in DQ2. So this is going to be very similar to the DQ4 event, where we had the 4 enemies in each corner and then your final boss. So very similar there. You need to make a custom party for each that includes, if you use a unit, armor, or weapon, it is not available until you beat that entire round, or you restart the entire round. Just like DQ4, it's not as varied as it was for DQ4, but each stage does have different elements, status effects to worry about. It requires no stamina. You will earn weapons after defeating all 5 areas. This is where you're going to get the Sword of Swords. And you can earn medals for winning each battle as well. And it is a pretty large winnings for each. There are, I believe, 3 levels: normal, hard, and very hard. So we'll kind of go through all this here. The first one is Atlas. So this is the giant Cyclops. The enemies here are weak to bang and zap. Using poison here is not a bad option either. All the skills that these enemies use is non-elemental. He has Ultra Stamp, which inflicts 180% physical damage AoE. Kosheki Jumbi greatly increases strength, so it's his buff. So what he'll usually do is do that, then Ultra Stamp. And he has Cancer, where he can inflict, and that's very specific there. And notice that he has over 5,000 HP. This is very hard. The hard and easy and the normal ones are going to be a lot lower. So everything that I have here for HP is on the very hard. So don't panic too much if you're only going to be going for the hard and easy. The units here are stated here. Remember, the units that you use, you can't use for anything else. These are just a sampler of the units. The big thing to worry about is if you're going to be using tanks, make sure that you do your best to only use them when needed. Atlas can be defeated by rushing him fairly quickly. As long as you surround him and don't allow him to defeat you with a single shot, he does take a little bit of time to defeat. He does have a Gigantes for the other enemies. Focus on that first. If you take him out, or take them out, then the Cyclops, as I say, won't be able to attack you that greatly. All in all, it's one of the easier of the boss battles here. The second one here is Buzz. Uh, each of these enemies here are weak to whoosh skills. Buzz is also weak to Zam. And target agility is 318 or higher, or 320 or higher, as long as they don't get buffed to go first, and have sleep resistance. The main reason is the Silver Devils have that speed, and you don't want to be put asleep by the two of them, otherwise you will have issues with this battle. Outside of that, though, it is fairly simple. You're going to be using whoosh units, and I'll show them in the next slide. It has 4 skills, actually really 5 skills. The first one is a range of 1, sharp by itself, deals 195% physical damage. The second skill is Rariro. Occasionally will put someone to sleep, so even Buzz can put it to sleep, but in all honesty, if he pushes it to sleep, that is a-okay. Basically is wasting a turn doing damage to you. Yes, you will lose your unit that you wanted to attack the next round, but honestly, that's okay. Also can cast Einozun, which is a large bang spell, damage and AoE. So if you notice here, and Dormor, which has a large sys spell and AoE. And you'll notice that Buki Kamashi, which is the fan shape, inflicts martial damage and AoE and move units 2 back. A lot of the other bosses have this skill as well. So if you have units that are strong against Bang and Sizz, along with being able to do Whoosh or Zam, this is the boss that you want to go with. And this one here, White King does a very good job of going through, along with Bone Baron, Nara as well if you have her. Otherwise, these are probably the best units overall because they do have sleep resistance as well. This is probably one of the few bosses where you at least want to take 2 or so from here because of that sleep resistance. Or if you're confident enough in your speed and damage, then go ahead and take like a Sly and Heart to take out at least one of the Silver Devils initially first, so that you can at least not get bombarded with sleep. As I say, for this battle, your goal is take out the Silver Devils first. Then when it's Buzz versus you should be in pretty good shape overall. The third enemy is Belial. It has Medusa along as well. There are 2 different ways to try and go after Belial, but Belial's weak to sleep, poison, and Zam. Zam is Sizz and Frizz. Cast Zam. These enemies do have high magic attack. Kill the Medusa. Kill one of the 2 Medusas first. If you want to make Belial just heal instead of do damage, if you can do like 1/4 of the Medusa's HP with 1 unit, and that Medusa doesn't really do very much damage to that unit, you can force the AI to heal Medusa and use mid-healer on Medusa. And then all you have to worry about is a much lower magic attack until you kill Belial, and then you go through there. Its other 3 skills, it has large wheels. It could do 250% physical, non-elemental damage and AoE. Einozun, Bang Dispel, and Dormor on 1 enemy. So all in all, it is slightly annoying, has a decent amount of HP, but the AI, because of the mid-heal, if you kill 1 Medusa and do just enough damage, you can get him stuck in a healing cycle, which does make the battle a little longer, but a lot easier. The units here, you have a very large supply that you can go through. This one, you may need a healer to go along with it. Don't take your best healer if you can avoid it. But yeah, Dragon Lord and Dragon Lord True Form do completely wreck this one. Deborah does as well. If you have any of these units fully leveled, bring them into this one, and they will greatly enable you to go through this very quickly. The fourth and fifth one are much harder. Hargon is a fairly annoying one. He has priests along with it. They're both weak to whoosh and zap. He can cancel opponent's stat buffs. It is not one of the skills I put here, but it is his fifth skill. He has very powerful spell damage. This is one of the two battles, along with Malroth, that you want magic resistance, especially Bang. Curse Einazun is very, very annoying, and unfortunately it could stun, which does make it a very RNG based battle. You can be doing really well, get unfortunate 2 stuns, and have to restart it. Curse is a bit annoying as well, but it's not nearly as bad as being stunned or stun locked. Dormor is a pretty powerful damage, but it's the Bang that you're most worried about. It also has Buki Kamashi, which is martial damage and pushing you back. That is not nearly as worrisome as all the other skills as well. But it's the same strategy. Kill the priest first. The priests are fairly easy to kill. Then just make it whittle down Hargon as quickly as possible. This is where you want to use your Curl or Slineheart. And Bianca also does pretty good as well because of Zap. She can really take down Hargon with her hero skill. Especially also buffing herself up. You are probably going to need either spell resistance or healing or both to keep Hargon at bay. The Lime Slime, though, you want to save for Malroth if at all possible. Emperor Slime might not be a very bad choice. The only thing to worrisome about Emperor Slime is his low HP. But otherwise, you can also put in Pudding. Nair is not a bad choice as well. You do have an awful lot of choices. But you want a tank that is very resistant against Bang, if at all possible. For Malroth, this is the final boss. Has much higher HP and has a very annoying ability to use an action for half HP. But if you have Seraphy, it does make the battle a lot easier. But really what you need to do is lower his defense, boost your attack for this battle to beat as quickly as possible. Malroth has a lot of very annoying skills. This is actually page 1. I will have a second page of this as well. His main weakness is Frizz, great weakness is Sizz. Crush here is 195 and can occasionally stun. He's got Bukikamashi because, well, everybody in DQ2 I guess has that. Also has Dormor. How About It is something that he will do once you get down to 15,000. So he'll cancel some of your stat changes there. It says it's Dispel. He has Ego Spark, just like his ability there. It inflicts very heavy sap spell. AoE and can paralyze. You also have Death Sigh, which can make sleep and poison. So he is a bit of an RNG based boss, very frustrating. You might change your move one spot and he'll completely do something differently. So very annoying AI overall. The units that you're going to be bringing are your big boys here. Obviously, Stark, Elena, and Deborah are great. Hellion actually a pretty good choice here. Along with Dragon Lord True Form. I did say that he might have been used for another one. If that's so, that's not a problem. Same with Bianca, but I think Bianca might be better off with Hargon. And Seraphy, as I say, is incredibly important. And he is probably your best tank. this is going to be the hardest battle for a lot of people. If there's any questions, you can just shoot me some questions down below. All right, now that we've beaten to this... to death, there is also a great battle in this, and it's Atlas. And it's just like the previous great battle, which was a lot of fun. Has more HP and can bring 3 other enemies. Basically, you're going to want to bring in someone who's got zap and sizz damage overall. And you will be alternating between bringing them out to kill Atlas or to use to kill the enemies. Brings out 3 different types. Can bring out Bubble Slime, Living Dead, or Ghoul. Bubble Slime is weak to Zap and Bang. Living Dead and Ghoul is Sizz and Frizz. Overall, he has very similar style attacks. Can do even or odd squares. Very similar type. Just a little different elemental weakness and different enemies. Bianca is a very good unit to bring out. Actually, so is Sorrow. Any of our Sizz users are also very, very good. So if you've got a very powerful Lena, Deborah, etc., you can bring those out as well. And just go to town. The only thing is its Bang is great, so Sorrow might not be as good, but the elements here are a little harder than the last one. So good luck with that, with the great battle as well. We get 2 different battle roads. The first one's Medusa Battle Road. So we have new units here. So we have 4 new units. Only one of them's from gacha. The other 3 are here. And these 3 are old units. So from the Medusa Road, it is actually going to be a little bit harder to get through all of it because you do have to farm the new units initially. But these are actually not too hard to get, so you should be able to do it within the first day or 2, depending on how hard you grind. The Gremlin Road is a little bit easier. It will come out a little later. It has the Hargon units here, along with the 2 other new units that you can grind out. So you have your 2 gachas here, 2 non-gachas, and you have 4 of the old units. So you will be able to do that probably week 2, but it will be slightly delayed. So this has been a very long video. I hope you guys are excited about DQ2 just like I am. It is a game that brings back a lot of fond memories. This was mind-blowing way back in the day for how many units or how long that the game was, especially compared to DQ1. It was a pretty hard game, especially initially, but I am super excited. I definitely have nostalgia. So are you guys looking forward to DQ2? If so, let me know what you're looking for. You can also watch me on Twitch. And also, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so, as that greatly helps me as well. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful evening and wonderful day, depending on what time it is. I will have this up. It should happen probably Sunday night or Monday night. So it will happen on the 15th at probably 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time. Sorry, I always get those 2 mixed up. That's my guess when DQ2 will be unveiled. And if it's not DQ2, then we will get another short battle run or repeat for a couple of days. But this is our next major event. There is a lot of stuff to do. So good luck. I'm super excited. And be safe. Bye, everyone.